Let's talk the cup. One more thing, like, subscribe and share. Come on, let's talk the cup. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club, the Let's Talk to Cutler YouTube platform, and I get to spend 1,800 seconds on this Tuesday evening. It is the 5th of November. It's election day, so some people may be straggling in and straggling on, and that's okay. I want you to make sure that you do what you need to do first. And then if you get a chance to come on and catch up, I'd love to see you. Would love to have you just join over in the chat. And when you come on in the chat, make sure that you say hi. And just in case you're stopping by for the first time, you're wondering what's going on. What is this Let's Talk to Cutler platform all about? What is that guy talking about? That guy is trying to offer some inspiration, trying to offer some motivation, trying to sometimes challenge us so that we show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. I don't know if I'm having some network delays, but if I have a little network delays, just hang on in there with me. I am going to be here for these 1,800 seconds, spending this time with you. Also, thank you wherever you've allowed me to come, in your home, your car, your space, your living room, your porch, your dining room, wherever you are. If you're out walking, if you're at the gym, or if you're shopping, if you're standing in the line voting, thank you for allowing me to share this space with you. I certainly appreciate it. I particularly appreciate it on this monumental evening in the history of our country, that you've taken the time to share with me. Make sure that you go and tell someone else, come on, let's talk to Cutler, because he's going to really talk about something this evening. I want to talk about don't give up on your happiness. As I think about this political climate where we are, so many people are disgruntled, so many people are worried, so many people have anxiety, so many people are sad, so many people are angry. But one of the emotions that I want us not to give up on is your happiness. Don't give up on your happiness. And the thought of don't give up is really what resonates with me this evening for so many reasons. I was having a conversation just before we started this evening. And so I'll go back and pull that in, loop it in, and I'll talk about that. But I'm so glad to see you all. I see several of you who are on and several of you who just opted to come on over to the chat room. I see the LTTC VIPs this evening. Looks like the first 3 people I see in the chat on my end. I see the rest of you, but I do see Annie Cutler, Linda Martin, and Paula D as the first ones to have come into the room. So thank you all. Thank you for those of you who have been with me for the long haul. Those of you who are just joining, make sure that you, if you have not done so, make sure that you subscribe. And after you subscribe, then do me a favor, do us a favor, then go ahead and click on the notification bell, because it lets you know whenever I've gone live and whenever I've uploaded new content like I have. Please go and get people and tell them to come on in and let's have a chat. Let's talk about a few things. I hope that you all have done your civic duty and made sure that you voted, whether you voted absentee, whether you voted early, whether you voted today. I hope that you all have done that for sure. A critical time in our history, but so I won't make this a political conversation this evening. But just make sure that you have done that. You know, I want to have a conversation because I realized, you all, over the course of these past few weeks, I was somewhat consumed by people's opinions, not their opinions of me, but just their opinions about how the world should run and what people should do and how people should think and how people should vote and how people should run their lives and what should be right and what should happen in the world. And I was just so consumed, and I was dismayed by some of the thought processes of people who are connected to my life. And I realized that I was emotionally and mentally affected by some of their thoughts. I didn't agree with them, and I was affected by a lot of their thoughts, and it brought me down just a bit. And I thought, Cutler, get yourself together, because in the midst of all of those emotions, one of the things that you have to make sure that you hold on to is your happiness. You have to make sure that you protect your emotional well-being. I say it to so many people, and I had to say to myself, I have not just preached to the choir, but I had to preach to myself and say, no, guard your well-being, protect your emotional well-being. That doesn't mean that you have to stop doing what you're doing in life. It doesn't mean that you have to stop trying anything that you put your hands to. Keep doing what you do, but make sure that you protect your well-being in the middle of it. And I just want to put that out there and say to you, whatever you're doing, whatever you know that you're doing a good thing, keep doing it. Don't stop. I was having a conversation with two of my friends. We're still good friends, and we were former coworkers in academia, in the educational environment, and we were catching up with each other. We were on a FaceTime. We were catching up with each other, and I asked one of my friends about her niece, and I said, "How are things going? How's your niece?" And she started talking, and she said, I remember I knew that she would be strong-willed when I took her skating as a little girl, and I remember she didn't want the walker that I'll get some with the story. And she said she did not want the walker, the little thing that helps you skate that you put in front of you to make sure that you don't fall. And she said, I knew that she was going to be strong-willed, and I knew that she was going to march to the beat of her own drum when she did not want that little thing. She said she kept falling until she stopped falling. And when she said that, you all, it resonated with me. It resonated with me so much that sometimes when we are going through life, it is okay if you fall, if you fumble, if you get scratched. But here's the thing, keep falling until you one day stop falling. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't give up just because you fail. Don't give up because you got a scratch. Don't get up because you got a scar. Keep going. And if you fall, keep falling until you one day stop falling. And I mean that even with respect to looking for your happiness and guarding your well-being, protecting your well-being. Keep doing what you do, you all. Don't stop trying. Because one of the reasons we try is because we're looking for the reward at the end. We're looking for the outcome that yields us the victory. Rewards are the things that we look forward to in life. Why? Because they make us feel good. And so keep doing what you do, you all. It doesn't matter how many times you have to keep trying, but keep doing what you do. Don't ever stop trying. I just want to put this out there at the outset of this conversation. Keep trying. Why, Cutler? Because one reason, you might not even know what you're capable of. If you quit early, you will never know what you could have accomplished. So keep trying. And again, within the context of society today, keep trying to be happy. Keep trying to be patient. Keep trying to be joyful. Keep trying to be naturally you. Keep trying to make sure that your character is intact and that your integrity is in check. Your character is intact and your integrity is in check. Just keep trying. Don't stop, because you will never know what you are capable of doing if you stop too early. Another reason you should keep trying is because you can learn. You can learn from every step in the process. Again, my friends, we were talking about some of the mistakes that we made, and we wish that we would have done that. And I said, but you all, it's all been a part of our journey. It has all been a part of our journey. And what would have happened if we would have stopped trying? One, we would have never learned. Two, we would have never improved. There are new lessons, new techniques, new skills, new things that you learn as you keep trying. I don't care what it is, keep trying. There are new gifts that you develop. What is it that you learn? You learn patience, you learn perseverance. These are qualities that get you where you want to go, help you to be who you want to be. You learn patience and perseverance if you just don't stop trying. And here's another reason. Keep trying, keep going, because you can make a difference. I don't care what anybody says. You can make a difference. Life is about making a difference. It's about bringing value to the world. It's about bringing something that did not exist before I came. And if it did exist, it did not exist like it does with my hand on it. So I just wanted to put that out there. Don't stop trying. Keep doing what you do. Don't stop trying. Keep pursuing your happiness. Keep protecting your well-being in this climate. I don't know. Listen, some of you all are probably like I am. You're probably going to, after we finish our conversation, you're going to probably go and watch the news. You're going to stay in front of the TV. You're going to stare at the results. You're going to watch the the results all night and the stats as they come in. But can I say this to you? In the midst of what is going on, protect your emotional and mental well-being. Don't let things throw you off track. Don't let things get you out of character. Don't let things cause you not to react the way, to respond the way that you know is right for you. I want us to protect our emotional and mental well-being. And in this climate, it is critical and crucial that we do that. I had to examine me. So can I tell you all what I did as I examined me? Can I share with you all some of the things that I decided to do as I examined me? One of the things I decided to do was stop reacting and start responding. Again, this is me not giving up on my happiness. This is me not quitting. But it is also me protecting my well-being. And I realized that in order for me to protect my well-being, I had to stop reacting and start responding. Because I've often said it's how you respond that matters. But sometimes the way that many of us deal with situations that come up in life or circumstances that come up in life, a lot of times, what do? We just automatically react. I know I'm not alone in this one. Sometimes we just automatically react. And that automatically reacting is based on past behavior. It's based on what we've learned from past experiences and past situations and past encounters. And sometimes it can happen so quickly until we are not even aware of it. We don't even pay attention to how we just reacted. And what might happen is our reactions could trigger some kind of emotions. We have to be careful about how we automatically react. And again, automatically reacting is based on something that we learned in the past. And can I tell you the danger of automatically reacting based on something that you learned in the past? What you learned in the past may not be relevant for the present. And here you are responding or reacting rather based on something that you learned in the past when the past situation may not have anything to do with the present condition. So you're reacting based on something that happened in the past, based on what you learned in the past, but you are here in the present. We have to learn when we encounter these situations and circumstances that trigger these negative emotions that might trigger fear or anger or frustration or any of those things. We have to make sure that we stop, we press the brakes, and we pause for just a moment. Don't react. Something triggers you, don't react. And we have to condition ourselves not to react. But I have to pause and be deliberate and intentional and say, now, how am I going to respond? Because can I tell you something? When you pause and you decide how you want to respond, those who are looking at you from the sideline, those who mean you no good, you've taken the power from them over the situation where you are in because they're looking to get, you've heard this, a lot of times people are just looking to get a reaction. But don't give them a reaction, give them a response. You pause and you ask yourself, how am I going to respond to this situation? What might I need to do differently? What is going to make me more aware in this situation? What is going to give me the kind of outcome that I really want, that I really need, that I really deserve? Let me take the power from the naysayers who are looking at me, wishing and hoping for my demise. You don't get to watch me react. You get to witness me respond. That's what I need us to do. That's what I need to do. I've learned that over life. Cutler, don't react. Pause and respond. I don't care what it is. Pause and respond. Don't react. I remember I was driving. I was driving, and my mother called me to tell me that my grandmother had passed, and I had to say to myself, "Don't react," because you're driving. But respond. I wanted to holler, kick and scream but I was driving. I couldn't do all of that. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm thankful that I'm able to share this example with you, because there was something that triggered a negative emotion. It triggered sadness, but I couldn't react. I had to respond. I was talking to my mother. It's her mother who had passed. And I had to ask her, one, how are you doing? I had to tell her, listen, I'll be there. Just as an example, sometimes we say, oh, I can't help but react. Yes, you can. That's why I talked about that example. I wanted to react. And under situations that I'd encountered in the past, I probably would have reacted. But no, you don't get to see me react. What you do is to get to witness me respond. Cutler, keep on going. I hope this is helping somebody. Angela, I'm with you. I had to learn it, but now I have to keep practicing it. And can I tell you something that you all, when it comes to protecting your mental and emotional well-being, here is something else that I hope helps you. In terms of not reacting, just remember this. You are not an automatic transmission. Why do I say that? Because again, I'm thinking about this climate that we're in, you all. People want you to react, but don't react, respond. Even if the outcome is in your favor, don't react. Well, sometimes you can't react, but respond. But here is what I found to be true for me. I operate better when I am not in autopilot. I need to be consciously aware. I need to be consciously present at all times and not in autopilot, because if I'm in autopilot, that means I'm functioning in such a way that I'm not aware of my surroundings. I'm not aware of what's going on. And it is so important for me to be consciously present and consciously aware. I'm telling you that I can't overstate the importance of that for me. It means that I'm being what? Mindful. Mindful of what I'm doing, so that I can make choices that will override this autopilot that we can sometimes function in, this automatic way of thinking that we can sometimes function in. I need to operate in such a way that I can make positive changes in my thoughts and in my behavior, so that I don't respond, so that I don't react negatively. I need to be consciously aware. Cutler, take yourself out of autopilot. And make sure that you're present. Make sure that you are mindful, because here is one thing that you all will find that will help you. When you are mindful, when you are consciously aware, you look at things differently. You observe things in a non-judgmental and a non-condemning way. And when you are mindful, you learn to catch this. When you are mindful, you learn to detach from negative emotions, because you're no longer controlled by them. You learn to detach from negative emotions rather than being controlled by them. A lot of times people are controlled by negative emotions, but when you are mindful, when you are consciously aware and consciously present, you're mindful, you say, nope, I am not going to be controlled by these negative emotions. I'm going to learn how to detach myself from them. And again, that is important in this climate. It's important in terms of what's going on in this country today. So that way you respond to events in a way that's not like you once did. You learn how to, let me see if I can use a word that doesn't necessarily, we don't always hear it, but you learn how to regulate your emotions. You stop getting so upset. You stop getting so angry. You stop becoming so fearful and angry and upset with and over what, Cutler? Over things that you can't control. There are some things that we just can't control, and we get angry. Think about it, y'all. How many times have you been upset and just angry over things that you can't control? And maybe I should ask a different question. How many of us have ever been upset and angry over things that we can't control? Both of my hands and feet need to go up. Stop flooding your brain with fear and doubt and worry and anxiety about things that are going to happen in the future that you can't even control. Get out of autopilot and make sure that you're mindful, that you are present, that you are aware. Just be careful what you are feeding your mind. What do I mean by that? Be careful what you are digesting from your surroundings, from your experiences, from your environment, because what you take in matters. What you take in, it really does matter with respect to your mental, psychological, and emotional well-being. Why would I say that? Because a lot of times you all, and hear me clearly when I say this, a lot of times we take in stuff that stays in our subconscious for a long time. It stays in that mental space for a long time. Even after the event is over and done, something can trigger it and you'll go back to that space. Think about it. Maybe if you've heard a song before, you were driving and you heard this song. And then maybe 2, 3 days later, or even a week later, you heard that song over in your head. It stayed in your subconscious. I have to tell one of my relatives, stop watching scary movies. Just don't watch them. Because she'll watch a scary movie and then have a nightmare the next night. Why did you watch a scary movie? It stayed in your subconscious. And we do that. There are things that we watch, things that we see, things that we hear. It will stay in our subconscious. So again, be careful what you're feeding your mind, what you're feeding your soul, what you're taking in from the environment. Because believe it or not, those events and activities are sometimes still active in your mental and emotional space. And they can influence how you behave, how you react. And a lot of times, unfortunately, people just don't pay attention to that. They don't pay attention to what they're taking in. I want us to be very mindful. Let's stop and think, you all. Be careful and think about the things that you're taking in, the things that you let come in through your eye gates and your ear gates. Think about what you've allowed to come into your soul, into your space. If you watch a lot of negative news stories, guess what's going to happen? It's going to stay in that space. If you're always singing sad songs and songs about heartbreak and breakup and somebody did you wrong, guess what? It's going to stay in that space. If you're always watching things that deal with crime and horror, it is going to stay in that space. That's why I'm careful when there are young people around me and I see them playing these different games and what have you. If they're too violent, if they're too graphic, I say, no, absolutely not, because it is going to stay in that space. If you spend catch me on this one, you all. If you spend a lot of time listening to people nag and complain about their lives and ain't nobody no good and everybody's done me wrong, it's going to stay in that space. That is junk food for your brain and for your emotions, and it is going to negatively impact you. And it is eventually going to drag you down. You've got to be careful what you are feeding your heart, your soul, your emotions, and your mind. Just got to be careful, you all. Why am I talking about all this? Because sometimes we keep trying and trying and trying, and then we wonder, why is this stuff not working? Well, you may be trying for something. You may be trying to do this, but as you're trying to do this, you forget and you compromise your emotional and mental well-being. And when you compromise your emotional and mental well-being, it causes you to want to stop trying. The two go hand in hand. Again, I was sharing this conversation with my friends. One of the things that we learned, you all, was self-care. And we learned that in the space of the circle of life, we learned self-care, and we learned not to sacrifice what was important to us. And what is important to me has to be me. A lot of times we would put meat on the shelf and we would sacrifice our well-being for the sake of somebody else's happiness. But listen, don't give up, don't quit, don't give up on you. And I'm just trying to help us. I want us to think about these things because, and for goodness sake, stop looking for the negative. A lot of times we look for negative things. Paula, right? It can be junk food for your brain. A lot of times we look for negative things. Do we really, Cutler? Yes, a lot of times we just look for negative things. Well, how do we combat that? Learn how to keep your attention on the things that you're thankful for in life. Stop looking for the negative things and look at the things for which you are thankful in your life. I've said it before. Create you and I'm thankful for this list. Create a gratitude list. Create a thankfulness list. And learn how to generate some positive emotions for change. A lot of times, here's one of the things that we know. I know what I don't want. I don't want that. I don't want that. Oh no, I don't want that. And look at what you're pointing out. You're pointing out negative things. You're looking for negative things. And it sounded so positive at first, right? I don't want that. I don't want that. You're pointing out negative things. So instead of pointing out negative things, point out the things that are positive. McDina, you're right. Whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, if there be any virtue, think on those things. Focus on the good. Stop looking for the negative and focus on the good. Again, because a lot of people have just trained themselves to see what they don't like. I don't like that. I don't want that. Because you have to be careful and understand how your brain works. You are looking for the negative to see what you don't want. And what happens is when you look for the negative and you say, that's not what I want, that's not what I want, that's not what I want, you in effect have inhibited your ability to look for the positive. By spotting the negative and seeing the negative and seeing what you don't want, you have inhibited and obstructed your ability to find the positive. Why? Because you're so trained now to look for the negative. That's what I don't want to do. That's what I don't want to drive. That's what I don't want to be. That's what I don't want to wear. But what about looking for the positive, looking at what you do want? So start being intentional and deliberate about choosing to look for those things that you appreciate, to look at those things for which you are thankful, to look for those things for which you are grateful, to look for those things that make you feel good about life and make you feel good about yourself. Learn how to retrain your cognitive filter is what I call it. That mental intake filter. Learn how to retrain your cognitive filter. And when you do that, you'll start experiencing the world in a more positive way. You'll always have something to look forward to. You'll always have something to be thankful about. You'll learn how to treat yourself with self-compassion and self-care and self-love. You'll learn how to practice to be intentional and deliberate about finding the good in people rather than the negative and the not so good. And you'll learn how to practice loving other people. You'll learn and you'll start practicing holistic wellness. Let me take care of myself. Can I say this? Protect your well-being so that you are empowered to keep going. Protect your well-being so that you are empowered to keep going. My friend talking about her niece, she said she kept going. She kept falling. until one day she didn't fall anymore. Don't stop trying. But as life is happening, make sure that you protect your well-being so that you have the wherewithal and the intestinal fortitude to not stop trying. I really hope this has helped somebody this evening. And again, in this climate, protect your well-being, you all. Protect your well-being. And remember, they don't get to see me react. I'm pausing so that they get to witness me respond. I hope I've helped somebody. Let's keep doing what we do, you all. Let's keep building a community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Make sure that you stay safe. And for goodness sakes, stay sane. Don't let anybody run you crazy. Stay safe. Stay sane. Protect your well-being, your sanity, and all of those things. Know that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. The next time we see each other, we will have a new president. I'm just going to say this. I hope the new president is the one that I went to school with at Howard University in the 80s. I'll talk to you all later. Good night.